Well, hello everybody. My name is Keith Bauer. I'm here to provide a video tip using some functionality in Lightroom. This will be in conjunction with our Lightroom ebook, Lightroom for the Nature Photographer, that Gregory Basco and I authored and released in December. So yesterday I happened to be up in the Sandia Mountains, east of Albuquerque, New Mexico, doing a little snowshoeing, came across this scene, was really pretty happy to be able to be up there and enjoy the great outdoors. And hey, by the way, capture a nice image or two. So let's talk about smart previews. What are they? Smart preview technically is a lossy digital negative file. It's a little bit smaller than a standard digital negative file, doesn't have as much resolution. And where it came from was Adobe was asked by those traveling photographers that use laptops a lot, hey, is there some way that I could be working on the images that I have captured, that I've stored on an external drive, without having that drive physically be connected to my laptop? Maybe you're on an airplane and it's kind of a hassle to have that drive connected. So that's where smart previews actually came from in the first place, was this ability or this desire to be able to work on images that weren't physically connected. They'd been imported into your Lightroom catalog, but the drive wasn't connected. So Adobe came up with this concept. It worked great. Turned out working on those images was even faster than working on the original RAW file. So then the question became, well, gee, if I have the original connected and I've created a smart preview, why don't you just work on the smart preview and then apply those instructions to the original RAW file when you're completed? Because remember, when you're working in the develop module, you're just building instructions for processing. You're not changing any pixels. So Adobe added that functionality a couple of releases ago. So let's talk about how you turn that on, what its implications are, and how you use it. To turn it on is really very simple. I'm on a Mac, so I go up to the Lightroom menu. I go to Preferences. On a PC, I believe that's under the Edit menu in Preferences, and go to the Performance tab. And under the Performance tab, turn on the checkbox that says Use Smart Previews instead of Originals for image editing. You turn that on, that instructs Lightroom to do exactly that. Notice it says it's going to increase the performance. It may display decreased quality while editing. Frankly, I've never noticed it. I understand technically why, because they are a smaller resolution file, but I've never noticed any issues that bother me at all. That's how you turn it on. Really simple. Okay, now the question is, how do you create smart previews? I'll show you two different ways. I'm just going to go into the Import dialog box. I have a memory card connected. Here's all the images that would have been imported or could be imported. I'm not going to do the import, but you come over to the right-hand side under File Handling, turn on the checkbox Build Smart Previews. That instructs Lightroom to build a smart preview for each image that you have selected to import, and it's done. Simple as that. I'm going to cancel because I'm not going to do the import as a part of this tutorial. That's how you do it. Well, what happens if you already have images in your Lightroom catalog and you'd like to build smart previews for them? Well, you can do it after the fact too. It's not like you only have one chance to do this. You can do it at any time you want to. So I'm just going to pick a directory here that's got a bunch of, it's got 10 images in it. I'm going to select all of these images. I just did a shift click to select them all. I go up to the Library menu option. I come down to Previews, and I instruct it to build smart previews. And it says Building Smart Previews. Because I had selected them all, it's done. Okay? Click OK. Now I've got smart previews for those 10. Well, what if I sometime later wanted to get rid of them? Those 10 are selected. Library, Previews, Discard Smart Previews. Yes, please. They're gone. Now there's one little quirk I want to point out. Let's say I had only selected one image. Notice I've only picked one, the other 9 are not. Library, Previews, Build Smart Previews. And you get a dialog box that for some people can be a little bit confusing. build smart previews for all photos or only one. That means all photos in this directory, not all photos in your Lightroom catalog. If you say build one, it's the one you've selected. If you say build all, it's all in this specific directory. So if I said build them all, it would build them all, just like it did before when I had them all selected in the first place. Okay, really pretty simple. Okay, so let's see. I have this particular file is a raw file. Let's just take it over to the develop module. Now that we're in the develop module, take a look at one particular piece of information. It says original plus smart preview. It knows that this has a smart preview. And when I hover over it, this photo can continue to be edited even if it goes offline, just like I described with the laptop. You will not notice any difference whatsoever in the functionality of the develop module if you're working on a smart preview or if you're working on the raw file. It's identical. The only thing you should see is a little bit of enhanced performance. And it sort of varies by image and also how big is that original raw file. So if you're working on a very, very high resolution file from a high-res camera, you may notice more performance increase than if you're working on a relatively small raw file. But in either case, you're not going to notice any difference in functionality. That's great. Okay, now there is a downside. The downside is smart previews take up space in your Lightroom catalog. There is no free lunch. So you need to be able to manage those previews, or at least I want to be able to manage those previews. So I came up with a little scheme. Let me run down here in my collections. And under smart collections, I built a couple of smart collections. Let me pull this out so you can see the names of them. I have one that I labeled Smart Previews Exist that are less than 30 days old. And then I have another one that says Smart Previews Exist that are greater than 30 days old. So like some of those, the ones I just built, for example, are in here. Those are older than 30 days old. How did I build those collections? Right-click, edit. I'll show you what the definitions look like. They're really simple. I gave it some name. I said it has to match all of the following rules. Has Smart Preview is true. Capture date is in the last 30 days. The other one, capture date is not in the last 30 days. Simple as that. What that provides me the ability to do is very easily find all of the images in my Lightroom catalog that have smart previews that for me are old. Old means greater than 30 days for my workflow. For your workflow, maybe it's 60 days, maybe it's 90 days. Whatever it is, you define it. That would allow me to come in here, grab however many of these images or all, let's say it's all, Command A, just like that, library, previews, discard, and they would be gone. I'm not going to do that because I actually don't want to do it today, but that's how easy it would be. I could discard all of the smart previews. So that provides me the ability to easily manage that potential downside of having the smart previews grow and grow and grow in my catalog. Simple as that. I hope that tip is of use to you and that you're able to use smart previews to enhance the performance of your develop processing in the Lightroom program.